Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Om Sri Mahaganapataye Namaha
Use the vapor speak.
Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Sadashiva Samarambham
Use the vapor
Shankaracharya
speak.
Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Asmadgurubhyo Namaha Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Padam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badharayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः ॐ श्रीमेधा दक्षिणामूर्तिस्वामिने नमः ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ. So namaste once again everyone. So as I mentioned in the last class, I will actually play the last two slokas when chanted by that lady, whose audio I had circulated. So I will do that. 1 second. Let me. Can you all see the screen?
Yes, we are able to see.
Yes,
Okay,
Guruji.
so these are the two slokas, last two slokas. Now I will play the chanting. 1 second.
इत्याचार्यस्य शिष्यस्य संवादेनात्मलक्षणम् निरूपितं मुमुक्षूणां सुखबोधोपपत्तये संसाराध्वनितापभानुकिरणप्रोद्भूतदाहव्यथा खिन्नानां जलकाङ्क्षया मरुभुविभ्रान्त्या परिभ्राम्यताम् अत्यासन्नसुधाम्बुधिं सुखकरं ब्रह्माद्वयं दर्शयन्त्येषा शङ्करभारती विजयते निर्वाणसन्दायिनी.
What a beautiful rendition, isn't it? You feel like listening to it again and again.
Absolutely amazing. Amazing.
Nice. That's what I thought, towards the end at least. Instead of my hoarse and ragamless chanting, let it be all this thing. I wish we had got this right in the beginning. So every class we could have played the respective mantra, slokas. Anyhow. So now we will, since we have chanted that sloka, I think this last sloka, we have already completed the Anvaya and the what is that? And the word meanings in the last class, right? Am I right?
True, Guru. Yeah. Correct.
So, Shankaracharya here, in the last sloka, he raises a question and answers it, of course. What is the relevance of Vivekachudamani for humanity? How relevant it is? Because many things which are very ancient and old, they become obsolete. And nowadays, every gadget, whether it is a computer or a mobile or whatever it is, becomes obsolete in just a few months or maybe a couple of years. So Shankaracharya, while concluding, wants to talk about how relevant is Vivekachudamani for the humanity. And this he does by using a metaphor, an example, an imagery. So first I will present the imagery so that we can get a mental picture of that. We can visualize how Shankaracharya is explaining. So imagine some people are crossing a vast desert to reach a place, on the other side of the desert. It's a huge desert. So they started walking from early morning. They have continued walking and it is noon time. And they are very, very tired. But they are nowhere near the end of the desert, the end of their destination. They're probably somewhere in the middle. And it is summer. And up above in the noon sky, the scorching rays of the sun are there. All around, the sand is radiating the heat. It's so hot, they are thirsty. But they must still walk further. Because by evening time or sunset time, they may be able to reach their destination. They thought that, they can probably make it in a few hours. But their calculations probably have gone wrong. They carried some amount of water with them, but that has got exhausted. No water in hand. Imagine this scenario. In fact, those who have seen, many of you must have, I'm sure. There is a movie long ago called Lawrence of Arabia. If you have seen that movie, the opening scene is this person, he is walking in the desert. A similar scene, rather. Thirsty, looking for water. So that is you imagine that scene. So here, whatever they have brought, food, water, everything has finished. Now, there is a serious risk that they may not even survive by the time they reach the other end. It's a desperate situation. And at least they want water. So in the middle of the desert, they are looking for water. And they see water. At a distance in the desert, they see the water. At that time, they do not know that, but it is a mirage water. Appearance of water is there. And not knowing this, they rush towards that. And when they come near to the source of water which they have seen, they are disappointed. So not only their thirst is not gone, because of running towards the water, they become even more thirsty and tired. And when they are in such a desperate situation, imagine somebody comes from the other side. One sadhu, one mendicant, and who regularly travels and knows the place thoroughly. And these people, in desperation, approach him and ask, where can we find some water? We are almost dying without water. That person smiles and says, very near to the place you are now standing, there is water underneath. Just a few feet, if you dig, there is a good water body that's available, pure water to drink. So you did not run here and there. Just dig few feet, maybe 5 feet, 10 feet, you dig. You will get water. So thus he gives this knowledge and moves on. And these people dig where he indicated and find copious amount of water. They drink and feel so happy. In fact, they get back their life itself which they had almost lost. Now suppose somebody asks, what is the relevance of the words of that person, that sadhu, to those desperately thirsty people? What is the use of those words? What is the relevance of those words? What is the price that they must pay for those few words, which were actually life-saving words? We will never know its value if we are sitting in an AC room with all water bottles and everything around. We will never know. We can only imagine. The only way for us to know is imagination. So, like those travelers, the samsaris are people who have understood the problem of samsara and are desperate for moksha. So here the samsaris are compared to the travelers. And these samsaris travel, it started not in the morning, but from Anadi Kala. They have been traveling like this, beginningless times, from body to body they have been traveling. That is what is samsara is. Samsarati iti samsara. Keeping on traveling. And the whole world is like the desert. The world doesn't have water, means world does not have peace and joy. So they are in great pain caused by the scorching sun in the form of the threefold tapa, tapatrayam. Adhyatmika, Adi Bhautika and Adi Daivika tapa. Problems from all over are scorching them and they don't have peace at all. And all along in their life, they are looking for what? Peace, security, and happiness. But they are deluded into thinking, like the travelers were deluded in thinking that there is water by seeing the mirage water. These samsaris are also deluded into thinking that worldly people, worldly relationships and objects will give them peace and security. So when they acquire those objects, strike those relationships, they expect joy and security. Maybe for some period they do get, but they are not sustained. In fact, by adding those objects and personalities and relationships, they have dug themselves deeper into samsara. Because now they are worried about the problems of those objects and those relationships also. As I said, all those are like mirage water, illusory happiness, only what they give. Thus, when the samsari is desperately looking for real peace, is looking for security and joy called moksha, imagine a guru comes. He gives him the knowledge that peace, security, and happiness are available right within yourself. You don't need to look anywhere else. Just dig a little bit into the three layers, into the Sharira Traya or the 5 layers, the Pancha Kosha. You will find that Satchidananda Atma, discovering which you need not ask for peace, security, and happiness. You will realize that you are the very embodiment of peace, security, and happiness, and that you are immortal. Thus, just as for the thirsty people, the words of that stranger, that sadhu, are immensely invaluable, so also for the samsaris who have discovered their problem, these Vivekachudamani words are also invaluable. And this is the beautiful imagery Shankaracharya presents in order to explain what is the relevance of Vivekachudamani for the entire world. Of course, I must qualify that will be valuable only for those who have discovered the problem of samsara. People who are totally deluded and they are in their own world, there is nothing called samsara for them. They will have to wait for a few more janmas probably. So now we will look at the sloka. Samsara adhvani tapa bhanu kirana prodbhuda dahavyata khinnanam. There are any Sanskrit students, I think a couple of them are there, Kalaji and all probably. Handful, one sentence, one compound word. You have to split all those compounds. I told you earlier also, it is said that if a person can be accepted as a person who fairly knows Sanskrit language, if he has already split 1 lakh compounds. So that is the amount of prayatnam you have to put in learning Sanskrit language. Because these compound words are unique to the language, at least to the extent that languages which are prevalent now. I don't know about Greek, Latin and all because I have not studied. So in the samsara travel, like in the travel of the worldly life, adva here means the path or course. Samsara advani means in the course of worldly life. Khinnanam. Khinnanam refers to all those distressed, exhausted jivas. And because of what? Vyatha. Vyatha means varieties of pains caused by tapa. As I said, tapa here means tapatrayam, the threefold tapa, which gives all sorts of problems. Problems at the personal level, adhyatmika tapa, adi bhautika tapa, problems created by the other jivas, like corona and all that, that is adi bhautika tapa. Then adi daivika tapa. Now you may ask, what is this adi daivika tapa? Because it is said in the Shastra that there are many devatas who have not got this self-knowledge. They are devatas, like they may be Agni Devata, Varuna Devata, all are devatas only. Why Devata means a cosmic power. They have a certain power. They enjoy that power, but they do not have self-knowledge. And every devata yearns for self-knowledge, but in the devata sharira, they cannot get self-knowledge. For self-knowledge, they have to take a manushya sharira only. When they had the manushya sharira, they did so much of punya karma that they got promoted to the devata status. No, devata status is all very good. They enjoy the power, everything is fine. But they don't have self-knowledge. They cannot get moksha as a devata. For getting moksha, they have to become a human being again and study under a guru. So it is said that this adi daivika tapam is those devatas are jealous of these human beings who are pursuing this Atma Vidya. So those devatas, what they do, because of the jealousy, they try to create obstacles for those mumukshus, jignasus who are studying. That is the adi daivika tapa. So the threefold tapas are. So all kinds of problems it will come. all kind of pains are there for a samsari jiva. And because of the pain, prodbhuta, caused by this threefold tapa, he gives the beautiful imagery. Bhanu kirana prodbhuta daha. What is the imagery? All these pains are like afflicting thirst. Daha. Caused by the fierce rays of the sun. Bhanu kirana. So, like the afflicting thirst for the desert traveler, the jivas are afflicted by the pain of tapatrayam. So, here the tapatrayam is compared to the scorching sun, and the problems of life are compared to the thirst. And the distress of the traveler is compared to the distress of a samsari jiva. So, this is one part of the shloka, one part of the story. Then he says, Jalakankshaya marubhuvi bhrantya paribhramyatam. Because there is a Sanskrit issue here. We can convert paribhramyatam into paribhramayanti, so that it becomes a complete verb. Jalakankshaya marubhuvi bhrantya paribhramayanti. Means those travelers who are roaming about in the desert, bhrantya, deluded by the mirage water. Why marubhuvi? Because it is desert land. Jalakankshaya, because of their desperate need for water. Jala akankshaya means need, desire for water. So also the jivas are desperately searching for peace, security, and happiness. And here, mirage water represents the worldly possessions, the worldly relationships, from which they are seeking peace, security, and happiness. Like the traveler seeks to quench his thirst by mirage water. They are all pseudo. So, paribhramayanti. Then, Esha Shankara Bharati. Esha for them. Shankara Bharati. The words of Vivekachudamani. In fact, the Vivekachudamani text has another name called Shankara Bharati. Vivekachudamani teaching. But in fact, the Shankara Bharati can have two meanings. It can mean Shankara Bharati mean the teaching of Vivekachudamani, or the words or teachings of Shankaracharya. Both meanings we can take. Or it can be taken as an adjective. Auspicious teaching of the Vedas contained in the Vivekachudamani. Because what is Vivekachudamani, as we saw in sloka after sloka? It is only a compilation of the auspicious teachings of the Vedas. Darshayanti is showing. So the auspicious teachings of the Veda, the words of teaching of Shankaracharya, Darshayanti, is showing for these thirsty jivas, the samsari jivas, it is revealing. What is it revealing? Atyasanna Sudha Ambudhim. Ati Asanna Sudha Ambudhi. So this ocean or the water body called Sudha. Sudha here means immortality or moksha. Sudha has a meaning of water also. That's why beautifully Shankaracharya, so much soaked in Sanskrit language, he gets the right word. Both are applicable. Sudha means water, Sudha means moksha also. And both are relevant in this context. So for the thirsty people, the words of the stranger, that sadhu who came in the desert, are revealing the water body. For a samsari, the words of the Vivekachudamani text are revealing the water body called immortality. Ambudim means ocean. Sudha Ambudhi means the ocean of moksha. And where is that ocean? Ati asanna, which is extremely close by. Like the desert people were searching for water all over, but right under their feet, water body was revealed. Similarly, samsari jivas are exploring everything in search of happiness, and right under the Panchakosha, Atmananda is available. Sukakaram Brahma Advayam. The Atmananda, which is Sukakaram, which is the source of infinite Ananda. And what is the source of infinite Ananda? Advayam Brahma, which is the only source. It is called non-dual Brahman. It is the ocean of joy. Shankara Bharati Darshayanti. The words of Vivekachudamani, the teachings of Adi Shankaracharya, reveals the Atmananda as the only source of happiness. And Vijayate. This Vivekachudamani teaching, this Vedic teaching, this auspicious teaching stands out as the most valuable one, the most precious one, which will be understood only by a thirsty mumukshu. For all others, Vivekachudamani is some time pass, that is all. Therefore, Vijayate, it stands out for the seeker. Nirvana Sandhayini. Nirvana here means moksha. Nirvana means relief also. So that which gives great relief from samsara torture. So Nirvana Sandhayini, we can take it as adjective to Shankara Bharati. So the great relieving words of Shankaracharya, Vijayate, stands out, showing that the only source of peace, security, and happiness is what? Is the Atmananda, the Brahman, Advaya Brahman. So with this, the condensed version of Vivekachudamani is completed. 108 slokas we have seen. We must at this juncture thank all the lords, Goddess Saraswati, all our Guru Parampara, especially Shankaracharya, Adi Shankaracharya, Puja Swamiji, Swami Paramarthananda, Swami Sadatmananda, all my gurus. I thank them for blessing me with this opportunity to teach this Vivekachudamani text. One more text which I have been blessed to teach. So I offer my namaskaras to all of them once again and seek their continued blessings for teaching more and more Vedantic texts. And we will read the very first verse and then conclude. Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tama Gocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmyaham. Harihi Om. Thank you all for this.
Dhanyawad, Raghuji.
For your patiently listening to all these 75 classes rather.
Today is the 75th.
Today is 75th
75th
class.
Thank you, Guruji. Thank
you
you.
all very much. And as I announced in the last class, I will now start the summary of this condensed version. In fact, it's a condensation of the condensed version. I will give you that. We have time,
Totally
about
distilled.
half an hour time. Whatever possible, I will cover today and then continue in the next class. And next class will be the concluding class. Okay. So as I said, by the grace of Lord Dakshinamurti and blessings of the Guru Parampara, we have completed the text of condensed version of Vivekachudamani containing 108 verses. So I will now briefly condense. Of course, there is a problem always when you summarize such large texts. What to include, what not to include. Anyhow, for the sake of ease of making it a summary, I will divide the text into 5 portions and give you a summary of each part or each topic. So the part 1 is Avatarika. Avatarika means normally, the introductory part, setting the stage as they call it. And this part is from verse number 1 to verse number 24, which is the preliminary portion to introduce the teaching. And in this part, Shankaracharya first glorifies the human birth. The primary reason for the glory of human birth is that only human birth can be used for attaining the greatest goal of moksha. And Shankaracharya feels that human birth is validated only if it is used for moksha. Else the human birth is invalidated, it is a waste. And once we keep moksha as the goal, liberation as the goal, then what is the means for achieving that goal? That will be the question. Therefore, Shankaracharya presents moksha sadhana, the means for moksha, as self-knowledge, atma jnana. Self-knowledge is the only means for moksha. And then he points out that Vedantic inquiry is the only means for self-knowledge. Self-knowledge is not going to come if you sit in one corner, close your eyes and ask yourself, who am I? You have to learn what the Vedas have told, who are you? Because Vedanta alone reveals the self. That is the only pramanam for self-knowledge. Therefore, self-knowledge is the only means for moksha, and Vedantic inquiry is the only means for self-knowledge. Then he points out that Vedantic inquiry will give moksha only when it is done with the help of a guru. Vedantic inquiry will fructify into moksha only if it is done assisted by a guru. That means one has to become a disciple. Go to a guru, do self-inquiry, get self-knowledge, and be liberated. That is the moksha program Shankaracharya suggests. So thereafter, he talks about Guru Sishya Lakshanani. What are the qualifications required for the Guru and Sishya? The Sishya, as we have seen, the student must have 4 qualifications. As Swami Paramarthananda calls it, discrimination, dispassion, discipline, and desire for moksha. The 4 Ds, which are, in other words, Viveka, Vairagya, Shatka Sampatti, and Mumukshutva. If one does not have these, one has to acquire them with the help of the sadhanas prescribed in the Veda itself, namely Karma Yoga and Upasana Yoga. Or we can even just say Karma Yoga, which includes Upasana Yoga also. Thus, by practicing Karma and Upasana, one should acquire the 4-fold qualifications and then come to the Guru. And the Guru must have 2 important qualifications. he must be a Shrotriya Brahmanishta. Brahmanishta means the one who abides in his real nature of Brahman all the time. Abiding in Brahman or abiding in Brahman knowledge. And the second is a more important qualification with his Shrotriya. He himself must have studied these scriptures under his guru. Because only then he will know the methods of communication. Because Vedanta requires an appropriate method of communication for unraveling the message. And this method is called a prakriya. The Shrotriya alone knows the prakriyas for transferring the knowledge. Therefore, one should have the knowledge and also have the method of communication. Such a person is an ideal guru. Even if he is not a Brahmanishta, his being a Shrotriya is a very important qualification for a guru. And once the guru and Shishya have these Lakshanani, the next step is for the Shishya to approach the guru with Shraddha and Bhakti. With reverence and faith in the guru, one should approach and clearly ask for moksha. Unless it is asked, the guru will not give. Therefore, guru upasadanam is important. A formal approach is important. Like in the tradition, the parents of the boy and girl, I'm talking about older times and not today. They approach the other side parents for the sake of marriage, isn't it? After matching the horoscope, etc. That's a formal approach. Similarly, for approaching a guru also, a formal approach is required. The guru must have reasons to accept the disciple. For various reasons, he may not accept the disciple. One of the reasons could be he may feel that the Shishya is not sufficiently qualified for Vedantic study now. Or he may say, he may feel that the Shishya is coming and wanting to, study Vedanta because he wants to run away his problems in samsara. He wants to shed his responsibilities towards his family, etc. So he is coming here. And gurus, I have personally seen Puja Swamiji rejecting people. He will not give the reason, but he will say, you go back to your family, serve the family. Then after some time, we will see you can come back again. He will not say, no, I reject you and all. Very, very diplomatically, politely, he will advise the people. Those people have come and told me, we also wanted to come and join the Gurukulam. But this is what Puja Swamiji did. He told us to go back to the family, serve the family, and then discharge the duties. Because these people have had small children and all, and they want to leave everything and come to Gurukulam. So Guru also should have reasons to accept the disciple. And Guru may not state, but he will have his own reasons for either taking or rejecting the disciple. But generally, if the Guru feels that the student is more or less qualified, then he will accept the student. Because whatever is missing in the qualification, the Guru will know that those qualifications can be acquired by the Shishya while staying in the Gurukulam or in the ashram. Because in Viveka, Vairagya and all, especially Vairagyam, you can develop very well staying in the ashram with minimum needs being met rather. So acceptance is Shishya Svikaraha. So Guru Upasadanam and Shishya Svikaraha. Guru accepts the disciple. And Shankaracharya presents both in beautiful verses which we have seen. Ma bhaishta vidvamstava nastyapaya samsara sindostarane yenaiva yatayosya param tameva margam tava nirdishami. This is sloka number 23rd. Here the Guru tells the Shishya, relax. I know what your problem is. I know what the solution is. And this solution has been coming down from beginningless times. I will give you the solution and you will be out of samsara. So relax. Thus, once the Guru accepts, the stage is set for teaching. It is ready for teaching. So, up to this portion is the introduction, 24 slokas. Manushya Janma Prashamsa, Moksha Sadhanam, Guru Sishya Lakshanani, Guru Upasadanam, and Shishya Svikaraha. All these points Shankaracharya beautifully covers. So, part 1 is the introduction, verse 1 to 24. Then part 2, the 7 questions and answers. So from verse number 25 to 60 is the second part, in which the 7 questions of the student are answered. And the 7 questions are presented in the 25th verse in our selection. And all of them are answered. I will briefly present the questions and the answers. Okay. The 7 questions are Ko nama bandha. Second question, Katamesha agataha. Third question, Katham pratisthapya. Katham pratisthasya. Katham asya pratishta. Fourth question, Katham vimokshaha. Fifth question, Kaha asau anatma. Sixth, Paramaha ka atma. Seventh, Tayor Vivekaha Katamedat Uchyatam. 25th mantra. So, question number 1, Ko Nama Bandha. First question of the student is, what is bondage or samsara? And the answer the Guru gives is a classic definition of bondage. Very, very important. Every student must note and register. The classic definition of bondage is mistaking the body, mind, sense complex as I. Whenever you ask, who are you? Your answer is always with reference to your body, mind, sense complex. That is the biggest self-mistake, self-misconception, which is called adhyasaha, which is called ahankaraha, which is called jiva bhavaha. In English, we can call it individuality, ego, well crystallized individuality. That is the bondage. And since the mistake is taking place in the intellect, we conclude that we are the body. Samsara or bondage is in original is an intellectual problem. And that is why the solution is also should be intellectual, because problem is intellectual. Therefore, solution has to be intellectual. And that is why Vedanta study becomes important. Intellectual study, intellectual knowledge is important. We must not say, oh, it is all intellectual knowledge. We require the intellectual knowledge to remove the intellectual problem of mistaking ourselves as the body, mind, sense complex. So, this self-misconception is the bondage, bandha. Then question number 2, Katamesha agataha. How did this self-mistake or self-misconception arise? And the answer to the second question is because of self-ignorance. Where any mistake is always because of ignorance. Self-mistake is because of self-ignorance. Atma ajnanat anatma ajnanah. And this self-ignorance is anadi. It has been there from beginningless times. There is no beginning, in fact. It did not come at any particular time. It has been there. You should not ask, how did self-ignorance come? It never came. It has always been there. Like any other ignorance. Ignorance doesn't come. Knowledge comes. Ignorance doesn't come. Ignorance is that which is there. Isn't it? Think about it. So this is the answer to the second question. How did samsara come? Because of self-ignorance. Then third question. Katam asya pratishta. How come it persists so long? And this question is because everything else in the creation dies in time. Everything perishes in time. There is a date of birth and the date of death. Even if the date of birth is not known, death is certain. Jatasya Dhruvor Mrityu, says Krishna, whatever is born has to die. Even the whole universe perishes in time. But self-ignorance doesn't seem to perish in time. It continues, it perpetuates. So self-ignorance and consequences of the and the consequence, which is the self-bondage or self-mistake, it perpetuates. How so? And that is answered through the imagery of a vriksha or a tree, where 10 comparisons are given. We saw this beautiful sloka, Bijam samsruti bhumi jasyatu tamode atmadhirankurah Ragha pallava mambu karmatu vapus skandho savashakika agrani indriya samhitascha vishayah pushpani dukkham phalam nana karma samudbhavam bahuvidham bhoktatra jiva khagah. So how does this ignorance persist? This self-ignorance and self-mistake are intellectual samsara, which is original. And this intellectual samsara leads to emotional samsara, which is secondary samsara, which is in the form of kama, krodha, raga, dvesha, etc. Because as an individual, I am finite, limited. Therefore, I have an instinctive desire to acquire more. In order to get rid of this finitude, infinite is my nature. By nature, I am limitless. But I have assumed myself due to self-ignorance as limited, as finite. And therefore, what I do, I keep on searching for things to add to me so that I become infinite. And in the process, I have an instinctive desire to acquire more and more and more. And once I feel that these limitations are removed, I will feel secure. Therefore, this sense of limitation leads to desires, and in turn, it leads to kama, krodha, raga, dvesha, etc. Emotional problems are thus caused by intellectual samsara. Once the emotional samsara has come, means raga, dvesha have come, it leads one to actions to fulfill those desires. And that leads to avidya, to kama, to karma. So avidya, kama, karma, Shankaracharya beautifully explained. And these karmas or actions not only produce immediate results, they also produce invisible punya papam. And therefore, karma and karma phalam are produced, which are the causes for another janma, another body. So the intellectual samsara leads to emotional samsara. Emotional samsara leads to physical samsara in the form of acquiring another body. And in the next body also, the self-ignorance continues, self-mistake continues, desires come, karmas come, punya papam come, and another janma also comes. So ignorance, mistakes, desires, action, they all is a chain, result in another body. Avidya to kama, kama to karma, karma to karma phalam to punarjanma. And this cycle goes on and on and on. This is called the cycle of birth and death. Generally, many people talk about the cycle of birth and death only as samsara. But we must understand the original issue is the intellectual samsara. So that's the answer to the third question. Now, question number 4. Katham vimoksha. What is the solution? The solution is, instead of turning toward the world with infinite desires, one has to diagnose the problem and change the extroverted mind to the self-inquiry. Make it introverted. Puja Swamiji says, you are the problem and you are the solution. If you understand that, 50% of your problem is solved. So the materialistic life is extroverted life. Spiritual life starts when I prepare myself for self-inquiry. And those preparatory steps are twofold. Karma yoga followed by jnana yoga. And here when I say karma yoga, it includes upasana yoga also. Therefore, what is the means for liberation? Katham vimoksha hai? First, practice karma yoga, which includes upasana yoga, bhakti, moral values. We have to underline that, because karma yoga, not merely doing karma. A lot of things we have discussed in very great detail about karma yoga. So karma yoga, upasana yoga, bhakti and moral values, all put together, we name it as karma yoga. And all these disciplines will prepare the mind. Prepare the mind means what? One attains the fourfold qualification. Sadhana chatushtaya sampatti. And we should also note, very importantly, that none of them can give knowledge or liberation. Karma yoga, upasana yoga, bhakti, values, etc. None of them can give knowledge. None of them can give liberation. They can only prepare the mind for gaining the knowledge, for first sowing the seeds of knowledge, and for those seeds to sprout and grow into a tree. It's like a farmer tilling the land, preparing it before sowing the seeds. That is what karma yoga does. So, and after that preparation, one has to come to jnana yoga, which is self-inquiry under the guidance of a guru. And through jnana yoga, one gets self-knowledge and frees himself from self-ignorance, self-mistake. Also, frees oneself from kama, krodha, karma, karma phalam, punarjanma, etc. The whole series is knocked off. Like dominoes, it will all fall. Like, that game is there, what is that called? Where they throw a ball, pins are there. I don't get the name. You throw one ball and all 9 pills, strike, they say, all will fall. Like the
In
domino.
Hindi, they call it pittu. They call it pittu.
No, not
in
pittu.
Hindi.
So now, there are many these centers which that game is there. Lot of youngsters, even old people, I've seen them thronging to these centers.
Bowling.
It is bowling.
Bowling.
Bowling. Yeah,
Bowling.
bowling. It is called bowling.
Oh,
Yeah.
9.
Yeah. So there are
9
some
pins.
pins or something. It's all completely automated. Beautiful.
Yeah, it is 9 pins. 9 pins are there.
9 pins are there. And the challenge is in one throw of the ball, you must knock off all the 9. It's very difficult, but you must have the angle correct and things like that and all. So in Vedanta also, if you have Karma Yoga, if you have got everything correct, all this Krama, Krodha, everything will fall like 9 pins. So Katham Vimoksha hai? Through Karma and Jnana Yoga, Vimoksha hai. Practicing them sequentially. Initially, Karma Yoga should dominate and Jnana Yoga should be simple exposure. Then Jnana Yoga should dominate and Karma Yoga must play a supportive role. And that is the answer to the 4th question. Now, 5th question. Ko kaha asau anatma? What is anatma? The non-self. What is that anatma which we mistake as the self? What is not self, we mistake as self. We do not mistake all anatma as ourselves. For example, there is a wall. We don't mistake the wall as ourselves. We do not mistake the computer as ourselves. We are clear that they are all anatmas. They are not me. But there is one particular anatma which alone becomes the object of our mistake, our bone of contention. As I said, during the class, borderline problem, the LOC problem. And that is the anatma, the body, the threefold bodies, Shariratrayam or Panchakosha. The gross body, the subtle body, and the causal body. And gross body is the shortest duration of life. Maximum 100 years, take a few more or less. Subtle body continues. It consists of the mind, prana, sense organs, etc. It is an invisible body. We call it also astral body, which has got a longer life. It continues throughout the current Srishti. So, during this Srishti, physical bodies will come and go, but the mind will persist, our samskaras will persist, Karana Shariram will persist. The subtle body, the Sukshma Sharira will persist till the resolution of this universe. And then comes the Karana Shariram, in which alone we store all the Papam Punyam. The storehouse, hard disk of Punya Papam storage is the Karana Shariram. And this is the subtlest body, which has also got the longest life. Because it continues after Srishti, after Srishti, after Srishti. Karana Shariram never goes away. The Punyam and Papa that we have earned will never go away. There's only one circumstance in which Punya Papa goes away, and that is gaining Jnanam, self-knowledge. I lose my physical body, I lose my subtle body, but I retain my causal body, Karana Shariram, with the stored karmas, the unexhausted Punya Papam, and this Karana Shariram retains my Jiva Bhava. My individuality continues even in Pralayam. It is the collective Karana Shariram and Punya Papam of Jivas which is responsible for the next Srishti. The next Srishti, how it is going to be, will depend upon the collective, combined Punya Papa of all the Jivas. And the next creation, in the next creation, the Jivas will acquire a new subtle and gross body. Karana Shariram will continue. Thus, creation after creation comes and goes because of the surviving Karana Sharirams. And this is the most powerful Anatma. And unfortunately, we have mistaken the threefold body as ourselves. And this is the answer to question number 5. And the question number 6 is Paramaha ka Atma. That we will see in the next class. balance questions and also the other parts we will see in the next class and conclude. Okay, I'll say the prayers. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om.
Om Shri Guru
Hari Om.
Om.
Dhanyavadaha everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Guruji.
Hari Om.
Very much, Guruji. Dhanyavada. Namaskaram.
Guruji,
Namaskaram.
Thank you, Guruji.
Guruji,
Yes.
Thank you,
I
Guruji.
tender my
Hari Om.
apologies.
Thank
Next
you.
week, I shall be missing the session, Guruji.
Sorry.
Especially I tender my apologies as I shall be missing the next session. I am
Oh, is it so? Okay.
going to be traveling.
Okay.
Yes. So, thank you
No.
very much for all your effort, Guruji. Gratitude.
No, thank you. That's okay.
Thank
You
you very much, Guruji.
Hari Om.
Namaskaram.
Yes. Thanks.
Excellent.
Of course, I can listen to the recording, nothing like, direct listening.
No, that's fine. That's true. That's okay. But anyhow, we must all thank the Guru Parampara, not just me, for what we have gained.
No,
Thanks a
the
lot.
effort that you are putting in, regardless of the place where you are located, you conduct the sessions.
Well, I mean,
We are the beneficiaries.
I would only say that Bhagavan's blessings have been there that, without any obstacle, serious obstacle, we have been able to conclude this text, and which of course we have done in earlier, like Vishnu Sahasranamam and all that.
Yes.
There is a grace,
Yes.
Gurus is there, unless that is there, I cannot claim it as something that I have achieved or I have done or something like that.
No,
So,
you are a messenger now.
my prayatna is there, no doubt, but the Guru's grace and the Bhagavan's grace has to be there for make it happen, isn't it? So wherever I have gone, it has been convenient, it has been possible for me. And one of the things I should say that I have not made all those things as an excuse for not taking the class. That is the only thing I can say. Wherever possible, unless I'm in a flight or in a train, I have tried my best to conduct the class.
Yes,
That-
Guruji, we have observed that.
So tomorrow
Regardless of fact,
Sorry?
which part of the globe you have been able to conduct.
Well, yeah, that is true. As I said, that is a blessing for me, and I should say blessing for the students also who are with me, because you
Without
also
a doubt.
benefit because of that. Because these are all things, like every day you have to do it, but then we are doing it once a week. And if there is a break, then there is a risk of, the continuity falling off. So
That's correct.
best
That is correct.
possible, we must to protect.
But for you, for that 1 hour session, preparation must have been several hours.
Yes. And that is a beautiful thing, I mean, that is what I always thank God for that. See, many people, when they are in working life and all that, towards the end, say when they reach 50, 55, they will plan, what should I do after retirement? Right?
Correct.
Now, there are so many options will be available. In fact, because I have been investing in stock market and all that, even when I was in service and all that. So I have a fair idea of the stock market working and how to make money out of that. So one of the thoughts I had was, after retirement, I will sit at home, have a computer and then screen and keep trading every day, make money. One idea. Then I remembered that when I was young, I applied for IAS examination. I have done a lot of studies for the IAS examination. So maybe I said one other option is I will have some students, teach them IAS examination. Even though I didn't pass, it doesn't matter, but I've got the material I can teach. Another thought. Then the third thought was, I have been a banker, so there are banking examinations are there, certified associate banking and all. So there are a lot of students who want teaching for that. So I can do that teaching like that. I never ever imagined in my life that I will end up in my retirement period teaching Vedanta. See, so that is why, and I am so, I would say that satisfied with this. I mean, nothing else, anything else, if I had taken, there would have been, probably I would not have been so satisfied. But here I am so satisfied that finally I got my calling and I am able to do that. And that itself is a great inspiration for me. It gives me a commitment to continue this, without any break or anything like that. So that is a great opportunity. I mean, how many people in the world
Definitely.
first of all, get an opportunity to go to Gurukulam and study this under a Guru. And then, secondly, even if you have done that, how many people will get the opportunity to teach even a small group of 15, 20 people, I mean, it is a very rare thing rather. And I am really blessed. All the punyas probably which I have done in the previous janmas, they have brought me here.
The students also the same.
Sorry?
We might have had a lot
Yes,
of
yes, that's what
merits
I'm
in order
saying.
to come and listen.
See, we are a group of, we are all belong to the same group. When I say I am, that includes all of you also. Because tomorrow, probably some of you may get inspired and gain this knowledge and start teaching. For a guru, nothing gives more happiness and joy than one of the Shishya teaching rather. Right? Because the
In a
idea,
family of
not the Guru Parampara should be maintained.
Guru Parampara.
So any number of
Lineage.
people coming up and teaching is always welcome.
no, even if you look at our own family members, out of 20, how many of them know even about moksha? They don't know about Atma. Of
Nothing.
course, they are also living.
People, if you tell Atma and all that, they mistake it for some ghost or things like that, and they may even run away. So, such things are there, but that is why we keep on saying this is only for you, not for your family members. Just because you know this, don't bring all your children, make them sit and give them lecture. It will drive them away more from Vedanta. So that is the thing. Anyhow, I wanted to tell you, we are starting Mundaka Upanishad on the Vijayadashmi day.
Oh,
That
great.
12th of October. I will send a notice for registration.
October.
Tomorrow I will post it in the groups and also in the Facebook. But my appeal to all of you is, please join only if you got that degree of commitment to learn. Don't join because I have nothing else to do, so I am joining this. Please don't have that thing. Because other things are also very important. You are in Grihastha life. There are very important things which one has to attend to. As a family man, commitments are there. And so, let Vedanta not be the sort of, when nothing else is there, I will do Vedanta. That approach don't take. That is my humble request to all of you. Otherwise, the classes will not be, because Sundays I am going to free all of you. So we will have next class only the last Sunday class. After that, this thing, Mundaka Upanishad will be on Mondays and Thursdays. And the timing will be
Monday.
7 to 8. Just slight 1 hour late it will be. And I hope, and I have done that because on weekdays, if some people have got their business or working, etc., maybe 7 to 8 times will be more suitable. They can come home and then attend the class. So that is what.
Oh, that suits me perfect.
Oh,
That
very
suits me
good.
perfect.
I have actually thought only about you when I decided that Sitaram will
No,
be
good.
busy, he has got his business to run and all that. So I thought 7 to 8 may be suitable. And there are some more, like I think Anup Kumar is there. I don't know whether he is there in this group. He is there in Bhagavad Gita group. So they're all working still, something. So to make it easy for them so that they can attend. So made it 7 to 8. So you will get the notice tomorrow. But in our
you said
class,
that.
we will have it on Saturday, the 12th. Right? We will have just an inaugural
12th.
session, maybe for half an hour or so. And then.
No, but Saturday is it not Bhagavad Gita?
Sorry. Let me think that. Let me check that. I think 14th.
Vijayadashmi is, I think, on Saturday only.
Let me see. I
Vijayadashmi is on
otherwise
Saturday.
I will move it to inaugural class on Friday. I'll keep. let me just think, because this is all the thoughts. I have to make the poster and post it tomorrow. So
Make
I
the calendar.
yeah, Saturday Bhagavad Gita is there, correct? So we can't have the enough class on Saturday. Maybe I am getting the days mixed up, so that's okay. It will be taken care of. Okay.
No,
So that
no,
is
you said, don't involve the family members. I should say that I was inspired by my son. He
yeah.
knows all the 700 slokas Bhagavad Gita by heart, and he does Sampurna Parayana every month.
Wonderful, wonderful, great.
And he is already doing
there is always somebody will be
Vivekachudamani
there.
has finished.
Some nimitta will always be there for us to do this.
Yes.
That is the thing. Anyhow, good. Thank you
Good.
all very much. We'll meet
Thank you very much, Guruji. Namaskaram.
There
Thank
is
you very
one
much.
hand going up, which is, I think, Hariji. I can't see his face.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you, Hari Om.
Thank you, Guruji.
Yes, Hariji. Can't hear you.
Yeah, Hari Om Guruji.
Hari Om, Hari Om. Yes, now I can hear.
Thank you very much for all your effort and your help and your blessings.
Thank you.
Guruji, I have a query about free will. Can I take it in this class, or you would like to take it separately?
You take it in this class. Free will we can discuss anywhere. Bhagavad Gita also we can discuss free will. What is the question?
The question is, number one, when we are correlating free will with cause and effect.
With what?
And prarabdha. Cause and effect. And also prarabdha. This life is because of the prarabdha of my previous janma or my past, whether previous janma or in this janma also, whatever I have done, that is compelling me to go through the prarabdha, and my entire karma is controlled or guided by that is the cause, either my past or my all my past karmas are the cause for my present experience. And whatever I am doing now also is guided by my prarabdha. So I have no choice there, because my fate is sealed. My destiny is sealed by my prarabdha. Then how can I have free will?
I think we have answered these questions numerous times and you missed yesterday's class. So you are asking this question today. Okay. First of all, I will ask you one question.
Yeah.
That question is, assume today you don't have any karma, no punya papa in your account. Assume.
Yeah.
Okay. Zero punya papa.
Yeah.
Okay. Then what will give you punya papa going forward? How will punya papa come to an account going forward? What is the source of that punya papa?
Guruji, this is not an argument from my end. If
I am not. I am trying to explain to you, make you understand.
Yeah.
Do you agree that punya papa are generated because of our actions?
Yeah. If I don't have any punya or papa, and it is a zero account, then that is enough for me, is it not?
No, it is not enough.
My question is
asking you a hypothetical question.
True.
Suppose Bhagavan says, okay, for once, I will remove all your karmas. But that does not mean that you
Okay.
will not earn any punya papa in this life. That does not mean that. Correct? So
Why?
Bhagavan is giving
Why?
you a special concession. I will remove all your punya papas for one time. Then,
Okay.
once that is done,
Ah,
you end up this life with punya papas. From where did those punya papas come? Are you understanding my question?
my counter question to that is, if my Punya Papa, by grace of God, if it has come to a ground level or a zero level, then I will not have, with the knowledge of Vedanta, I won't have any more desire to earn any more punya or papa.
You don't have any knowledge of Vedanta. You are still a jiva. You have not done any gained self-knowledge or become a jnani or anything. I am saying, as a samsari, as an ajnani,
Yeah.
you have got a certain punya papa in your account.
Yeah, sure.
Bhagavan says, I am giving you one-time relief. Like the governments, they write off farm loans and all that,
Yeah.
I will write off that sanchita karmas which is there in your account. Prarabdha karma has to run. That Bhagavan also cannot do anything. Correct? Now, Prarabdha karma is running. You are still alive. You are an ajnani. Except that at this point, you don't have any sanchita karmas. Okay?
Yeah.
I am asking you to imagine all this. This is not actually happening. I am asking you to imagine.
Yeah, I understand.
After this, will you, through your actions that you do, earn punya papa or not?
Yeah, I will, because
Correct.
if I don't have the knowledge, then I will definitely earn punya and
Oh,
papa.
papa. Because of what? Because of the actions that you do.
Because of my ignorance.
If you do good deeds, you will get punya. If you do bad deeds, you will get papa. Correct?
Yeah.
That will start accruing.
Yeah.
Now that actions that you do,
Uh,
on what basis you are doing that action? On what basis you are deciding that I will do good action or I will do bad action? What is the basis of that? Because punya papa has passed, the karma is gone. That you cannot use it as a basis, correct? Now onwards, what is the basis? See, Vedanta should actually trigger thinking in you. That is what is inquiry is. Inquiry is not just learning from the Guru alone. You must sit and think. Suppose this happens. And I have to act, I have to do things because I am living. I will earn punya papa. On what basis will I decide on those actions, what I should do, what I should not do? That is where free will comes. Because once the karmas go away, free will still remains. And all our actions are determined by our free will. We choose to do certain actions because of which we get punya and papa. If there are actions which we are forced to do, which we do not choose to do voluntarily, those actions will not bring punya and papa. In fact, I will go to one more extent, one more step. If you do an action which otherwise will give you a papa, that action can give you a punya if that action is for benefit of somebody, some mankind. I mean, like a doctor who is causing an injury to a patient during surgery. Normally, if you do any violent action, then karma, law of karma says you will get papam. But the doctor will not get papam because his purpose of doing that injury, cutting that body
Intention is
is
totally
save
different.
the life. So the doctor actually will get punyam for an action which otherwise would have got him papam. So therefore, what you should think, there are two aspects. One is the action and the motive behind the action. So the punya papa is decided on the basis of these two things. What is your motive and what is the nature of the action? So free will is that which drives all our actions. Okay. Now coming to the second part of the question. If you say all karmas are predetermined, my life, my prarabdha karma, what I should experience in this life, your understanding is wrong. Because the karmas, they only present you, the prarabdha karma presents you with circumstances for either happiness or unhappiness in this life. Circumstances which can give you happiness, which can give you unhappiness in your life. How you respond to those circumstances is your free will. An unhappy situation, a situation which can cause unhappiness, you can actually, through using your free will, using or even doing prayaschitta karmas, you can remove or dilute the potential for that particular papa to give you unhappy situations. So free will is always there. It is not that karmas force us. If the karmas are going to force all that, first time we should have used the free will to earn the first punya and first papa. Then where did that free will go? So the jiva is always having the free will, and it was because of the free will. If the free will is not free, then you don't have any punya papa like animals. Animals, they don't have free will. They are all what they call programmed. Animal will not kill another animal for the sake of killing sport. It will only kill another animal for its food, for its basic necessity. Only a human being can kill another person for as a sport or for whatever reason, revenge and things like that and all. And that is why, well, giving free will, Bhagavan also gave this law of karma. And law of karma applies. At the same time, we have got the free will to tackle whatever circumstances which law of karma presents us in this life. So this is a very complicated thing which you have to understand all the different aspects of it. Basic thing is, don't have this feeling. I remember, either in this class or in Bhagavad Gita, Mr. Sita Ram raised the same question long ago. And I have given the same explanation to him at that time. So don't think we don't have. We have the free will, 100% free will is there, and all our problems are because of the misuse of free will. We have free will, but we don't use it properly, misuse it, and then we earn punya papa, and then the circumstances are presented, and we don't know how to tackle the circumstances also. For that also, instrument is available, free will is available. We can tackle those circumstances. We don't do it. And then cry, oh, this is my fate, this is the karma is presented, and things like that and all. That is not the correct approach, correct understanding. Have I made it now amply clear so that you will not have...
You have made my intellect to triggered my intellect to think. Yes. And to
reflect. We must never have this idea. The only thing that happens, I should say as a caveat, is our life, every moment of our life is a constant boxing match between free will and prarabdha. Every moment, prarabdha presents one situation to us. It may be, if it is a happy situation, then we are not bothered, right? Our problem
Yeah.
is only when unhappy situations are presented.
Yeah.
Then free will has to act in order to manage that situation, correct? Now,
Yeah.
in this boxing match, sometimes the prarabdha wins, sometimes free will wins. Now, which will win in any circumstances is again determined by the relative strength of the prarabdha or the free will. Sometimes free will win, sometimes prarabdha will win. If prarabdha wins, we should not say, oh, free will did not win, because prarabdha was so strong. Your past papa was so strong that even by using the free will, you have not been able to dilute that effect of that prarabdha. I mean, that's why we have got all this, Brahma Hatya and Cow Hatya and all that. They are big, big Mahapapams. That Mahapapam and all, there is no Prayaschitta karma. Even though every year during Avniyavattam, during Upakarma, we seek, that pardon or whatever, we seek that we should, all those papas I might have done knowingly, unknowingly, so please relieve me from the effect of those papas. That is a prayer we are offering using our free will. This is a prayaschitta karma. The whole thing is prayaschitta. So that we can do. But that does not mean that if we have done some very, very serious papas in the previous janmas, that they will not visit us in this janma. It will visit. So that is what it is. It's a very complicated topic, I agree, but then you have to think about it.
Yeah. Guruji, this free will belongs to whom? See, in my
Ego.
it's the ego.
Yes.
And if we are telling free will belongs to ego, and also on many occasions we have learned that the ego is deluded, because it is a delusion. So if ego belongs to, no, if the free will belongs to ego, which is delusionary, is free will also is delusionary?
For a jnani, all this is, you cannot pick here and there and then combine them. We have said
Okay.
ego is delusionary, free will is delusionary, prarabdha karma, all these karmas are delusionary. For whom? For the super awaker. For a jnani who has got the jnanam, who knows the reality, there is only one reality, which is Brahman, which is Advaitam, non-dual. There is nothing else other than Brahman. That person, for him, all this thing, all delusionary, mithya. For you and me, who are still ajnanis, they are all very valid. Like in the dream, for a dreamer, a dream is 100% valid. It will make him laugh, it will make him cry and all in the dream itself. Like that, for us, whatever we are now saying, all these karmas, everything, very much valid, because we have not yet reached that stage of being a super veka. Like for a veka, a dream world is a mithya. For a super veka, everything in this waking world is a mithya. That's what you have to understand. We must not have half understanding. Oh, there it is that it is all mithya. So today, if you start treating the world as mithya, call your wife and tell, you are a mithya. You don't mean anything to me. Then you see the consequences. It is not
Guruji,
uh,
Guruji, I'm not sure if Hariji means by his question about the antakarana, of the mana, buddhi, chitta, ahankara. Which faculty does free will belong to? I think that's his question. If my understanding is right,
No, free will is, I don't know.
is
According to him, he asked what is the source of free will. I said ego is the source
no?
of.
He said it belongs to. If it belongs to ego, then it is illusionary. But then it belongs. In one of your talks,
Yes, it
I
belongs to
remember
ahankara, no? You can say it is
it belongs to.
ahankara. Because
Okay.
it is a part, ahankara is ego, correct? So what
Right.
he's saying is correct understanding only. If he is understood that way,
Oh.
it's fine. No problem.
Right. I had understood it differently, that it belongs to another aspect of antakarana. Okay, Guruji.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No buddhi, chitta, ahankara. Ahankara is this ego.
Right.
And that is why, the kartritva comes in because of that. Because the ego says, I am the doer. And I do it using my free will. Right? So that is why ego or ahankara, free will, and punya papa, all are, interrelated. You must understand that whole chain as one. But having said that, we must not worry too much about all these things, because eventually we are going to negate all these things when we get jnana. Right? So is
Yes,
that okay
Guruji.
now?
Yeah, you have now given me enough material for 1 week to.
Yeah. To the next class, if you are still not convinced, I will say the
Yeah,
same
no,
thing
no,
again
no.
to convince you.
No, it is. I mean, this is the only way where we can the manana get triggered.
Yeah, correct. And this is what the right understanding of the Shastra should be, rather. Otherwise, Shastra will not talk about free will at all, isn't it? Vedas, Bhagavan himself is talking about free will. If it is not something which is to be considered, he will not talk about it. And that is where we always point out, with free will, without free will, jivas, animals and plants, no free will, human beings, free will. That's the biggest difference.
Guruji,
That is why we are the superior most jiva, or the living being in the universe, human beings.
Guruji, I have with respect to free will, when we say purushartha, that is self-effort. What is the Sanskrit word for free will?
No. Purushartha is not, the word Purushartha is used in two contexts. One is a goal, another is prayatna. Okay.
But once again, I couldn't hear it.
First one is a goal. Purushartha means a goal. Goal means Goal. A destination.
Okay, goal.
Aim.
Yeah.
Another is the effort is also called Purushartha. As you said, effort. So these two meanings are called the Purushartha. Okay. Now, what is the word for free will in the Sanskrit language? Honestly speaking, I don't know. Right?
But is Purushartha and free will are same?
The second meaning you can actually bring in free will, because the effort, self-effort which we are talking about is the effort which we put in because of the free will we have.
Okay.
So that way you can say that that effort includes, or not includes, effort is because of the free will. We put in the effort to reach the goals. The four Chaturvida Purushartha, this Artha, Kama, Dharma, Moksha. This. So the effort we put in to do that is the free will, and that free will is included in the meaning of Purushartha. You can take it that way. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So for 1 week, enough
Think about
enough
all this.
homework
Yeah.
to do.
Think about it.
Enough homework for 1 week.
Enough homework. Yeah. Okay. So,
Guruji, thank you very much.
Thank you, Guruji. Thank you very much.
Wonderful class today, Guruji. Thank you very much.
thank you.
Thank you,
Namaskaram.
Guruji. Thank
Hari
you.
Om.
Hari Om. Thank you so much.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.